Monday, this coming Monday, and goes through November the 1st. So every day during that period of time, you can early vote. And of course, Election Day is Tuesday, November the 5th. So it's just a little reminder this morning, some of these things, we all get busy, and let's not forget to vote and tell your friends and neighbors, and try to make it voting as easy and accessible to everyone as possible. Okay. Washington County Commissioners Court is now in session Tuesday, October 15th, 2024 at 9 a.m. Commissioner Kester, would you do the honors, please?
Yes. Today we have Ross Shelton from First Baptist Church of Brenham to lead us in the invocation.
You join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you today for our elected officials, for their willingness to step forward and take on the challenges and the privileges of elected office. And as they seek to steward the resources you provided our county, I pray, Lord, that you give each of them the wisdom they need to make those decisions. God, today I thank you for our county employees, for the ways that they serve our community through their vocation. And I thank you for them and the time and effort and energy they give to make our county great. God, I thank you today for our first responders who put their lives on the line each day in our community. I thank you for the sacrifices they make and the sacrifices their families make as well. And I pray for your protection to be upon them. So, Lord, I give you these thanks to you today for all that you're doing in our county. Thank you for all that you're doing in our lives. And I pray this with respect and consideration to all people who are present here. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance to our great country.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Item number 3, presentation from Telehealth Services. Carly McCord is here with us this morning.
I'm empowering my new team members.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mark Riggins. I am the new clinical director for the Texas A&M Telehealth Institute. And so the Telehealth Institute is a fairly new name. We're under the Health Science Center. We're an institute under the Health Science Center. However, Dr. McCord and our team have been working with Washington County for well over 10 years in various aspects. Today we're going to come to you with Dr. Michaela Spooner, and Dr. McCord will help us some to talk about an important program that Dr. Spooner is working on. And we just want to share the program with you, share the news about the program, and then we're really just asking for feedback and some direction if you can think of some as we're navigating through the discussion. But I want to introduce Dr. Michaela Spooner.
Thank y'all, and good morning.
Good morning.
So thanks, Mark, for that introduction. Yes, we love being able to serve Washington County and having to be, or being able to be partnered with y'all for well over 10 years now. In fact, I do have one update from one of our psychologists that works with those who are in the jail system. Dr. Isaac Saldivar has offered individual therapy as well as 2 different groups. One is an anger management group and one is a seeking help group, which focuses on trauma and substance use. And this year alone, he's been able to reach 45 people. However, since those services started in 2019, he's been able to see 230 individuals. So that is a really, really great, that's really great feedback for the services that we're offering. And it's really great feedback that y'all have been so open to this and allowing us to really serve y'all in a number of ways. And so we're constantly looking for different ways to access different groups across the county. And so one that we're looking at now is agricultural producers and their families and children. And so just based on the American Farm Bureau survey in 2021, there's a number of factors that impact farm and rancher mental health. Just some of those being financial issues, farm or business problems, fear of losing the farm, and stigma against mental health, of course. In fact, 70% reported embarrassment as a significant barrier to seeking mental health treatment. So, in response, the Farm Hope Project was created. Our flyer is so nicely displayed up there. We also have our flyers and more information and some swag for anyone to pick up at the end of this. But this is a USDA-funded collaboration between AgriLife Extension and the Telehealth Institute. So we provide no-cost virtual counseling services to ag producers, to their family members, and to their children all across the county. These are confidential services from the comfort of their homes or out in the field, as we know our ag producers usually are. So we believe in this program, and we know that this can be a difficult population to reach. We really just started advertising in roughly August. So it's new, and we've been partnered with Faith Mission, the Resource Center, as well as the AgriLife Extension Office. And then I've been here flyering, going to the fall festivals, attending the Brenham Cowboy Church service. But we're looking for feedback on really just how to get more connected with this population within the community. How can we continue networking and plugging in to let them know about what we're offering and let them know that they'd be talking to me. Like I'm not very scary. I'm not here to tell them how to run their business or fix all the problems. I'm here to be a listening ear and provide support for a population that is really near and dear to my heart. So I am open to any kind of feedback now or later. I have my email attached to all of the flyers back here as well, just about how we can better reach out to this community.
So do you guys have a booth at the Cow-Calf Clinic?
We do, yes.
Okay.
Now, there you-
Yes, very excited
you
about that.
mentioned festivals. Which ones have you attended, and which one, you've been going to county fairs and that sort of thing as well?
So wasn't able to go to the county fair. I went to a fall festival and tabled there, looking at getting connected with the cowboy churches. So I went to one church service, kind of been in contact with them. Haven't heard back about if that's a partnership that they are wanting to push or not, but kind of starting that relationship as well.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I'm sure there are others. We just can't think of them on the top of my head, but
have the
if we do, we
opportunity.
have your contact information, so we'll be able to send that to you guys and let you know. I think this is a really good thing that you guys have put together. Like anytime AgriLife and Texas A&M, you guys do a program, it's usually a really good program. So I would encourage anyone who can utilize this service to utilize it. I know we've worked with several commissioners' courts with AgriLife and Texas A&M, and you guys have always done a good thing. I think the other thing that we're starting to realize is that telehealth started a while back, but it's here, and it's here to stay. I think more and more people are getting accustomed to it. We're utilizing technology in ways we never thought we would. People are ordering their medication online, having it delivered to their home rather than going to a physical pharmacy. There are things that are rapidly changing in our lives when it comes to our medications and mental health and all health as far as that goes. I mean, I've even seen things that I would have never thought I would see in terms of how they analyze our bodies and what's going on with them and how they do certain x-rays. So it's interesting to see where we're going to go with health. So thank you so much for putting this program together for these folks and seeing the need. And you know, sometimes we see a need and we don't fulfill it with a response, and you guys always have a response. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, we've been very happy with the telehealth services. We've heard great things from Chief Hensley. in our jail, and considering that we live in a state where we are one of the bottom tier states as it relates to access to mental health care, I really commend, Texas A&M and the AgriLife Extension system for going out and for trying to provide additional services, especially knowing that we don't have a wide variety of services here. So thank you all for what y'all do.
Very good. You do a great job. We appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
I really noticed one thing caught my eye here. Use any device to connect from the privacy of your own home. Loaner tablets are also available at no cost. You're not only providing free counseling services, you have the loaners of the tablets. That's very significant.
Yes,
So
sir.
thank y'all for very in-depth service you're providing here. So.
Thank you. Thank you all for the kind words. We love being here and just always looking for ways to plug in. So please feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'll make sure that y'all end up with the flyers that have my email address. But yes, any ideas that y'all have are greatly appreciated. And yeah.
Fantastic.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Okay. Well,
Thank
thank
you
you
all.
so much. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you all.
Item number 4, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of pending Washington County Expo rental regulations contracts. This morning we have 3 of those. There's the Bluebonnet Cutting Horse Association event, Paradigm Alliance Pipeline Safety Awareness Training, and the Boy Scout Troop number 577 is having a chili fundraising drive-through.
I'll move upon the approval of pending Washington County Expo rental regulation contracts and authorize the county judge to sign.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5, presentation of the Washington County Human Resources Quarterly Report. Ms. Milchak?
Good morning,
Good
Judge and
morning.
Commissioners. First, I apologize, I did not change the months in the heading. This is obviously July through September, but the information lower is all for the correct quarter. Top of the list, Time Clock Plus, we're very excited. That was approved in September. We're moving forward with that new timekeeping system. We did have the kickoff meeting last week, Thursday. We have many stakeholders involved. We've pulled representatives from every department, several from our larger departments, so that we can have users at all levels involved in the implementation to make sure that we work out as many bugs as possible before we go live in February. Second point, Tyler Technology Needs Analysis. We worked together with the auditor and did a business process review with Tyler Technology, and over the course of the week, Shauna sat with them for about a day and a half. We sat with them for 2.5 days and went over all of our pain points with the system, usage and access. Of the top 20 issues that we addressed, 12 of them were addressed within this process review. She helped us to understand how to use the program, the training that we didn't receive, to pull in things like longevity and employee birthday holidays, things that should be an automatic process that was not feeding in. Bev was having to track it separately in a spreadsheet and do a manual upload of some of this information. It gets to be a bit tedious and overwhelming when you're processing all of that. So things like that are going to take a lot of the pressure off of her during the process. As we change into TCP, we got a lot of reassurance for her about how that will integrate too. We're looking forward to that being a seamless integration. They did suggest an additional, we do have, skipped ahead. We have 12 hours of configuration available from some training time and some additional that we purchased. So we will be able to address most of the other issues that she suggested further configuration. So we'll be able to make Tyler function a lot better for us as an HR department and service the rest of the county as a whole. The additional 40+ hours that they suggested for position budgeting and time and attendance, we're going to take care of with TCP as a new program. And then, of course, the is it OpenGov that Shauna is going to be using that she's brought to us for budgeting. So that will kind of take care of that position budgeting. So we may or may not utilize that with Tyler in the future. Typical employee headcount information, we hang around 240 employees, plus or minus. Turnover rate sitting for the entire organization at 5.34%. I did include in the tabs of the spreadsheet that I sent along with this the larger departments' turnover rates individually for you guys. Recruiting, we've, working with Indeed, we've had very good fortune with them finding people. We actually found all of our jail medical people through Indeed. That was a fun recruiting process, but I feel like we've got a great team over there right now. Quite a few open positions over at the sheriff's office and a few within the jail. EDS, our road and bridge guys, I think we are down to that one position that I don't think we're going to fill, and then one equipment operator. And then EMS, we're down with paramedic. Training and development, I wanted to include this because we had the ability to attend a lot of training and provide a lot of training over this last quarter. That First Amendment training that Darren Jackson, our senior law enforcement consultant, came and provided for all of us was very informative. It showed us some of the things that we need to watch for, and helped us to understand the purpose of these First Amendment auditors and how that we can effectively work with them to show that what we are doing and our function within the county is helpful, and that we are serving the public, and what to do if someone's being aggressive. It's as easy as shutting the door if they are a legitimate First Amendment auditor, but it can be a little scary, but he helped to alleviate some of the fears that go around that. We provided harassment training for all employees and officials. Those were fun little meetings that everyone attended. In addition to that, Amber and I went to the TAC Regional Training Workshop in Walker County. TAC puts on a one-day regional training in each of their areas once a year. They cover all issues of risk management, insurance, employee engagement, culture, and just a plethora of issues, and it's always very informative. We also were able to attend the Gulf Coast Symposium on HR issues. This is the largest HR conference in our area because HR Houston is the largest SHRM chapter in the U.S. So there were hundreds, literally hundreds of sessions, and they ran concurrent. So we were at NRG, and they had 2 levels of us, just HR folks going back and forth. So it was very informative, also very encouraging to be surrounded with other people that are like-minded and working to improve their organizations. I have begun the National Association of Counties High Performance Leadership Program. This focuses on areas of leadership such as mindset, positive engagement, change management, communication, and collaboration. We are in the communication and collaboration phase of it right now, and it'll wrap up at the beginning of November. This is designed specifically for county officials. So I am being taught by present and past county officials and working with present county officials and even some TAC people. All of their people go through this workshop too. So it's been intense, it's been fun, it's been a great learning experience for me. Amber is in the Leadership Washington County program. She's been very excited about this, learning more about our area specifically, as well as the resources available to our people and making business contacts and networking. And so we're both very excited about these opportunities. That's really all I had for you. Did anybody have any? Open enrollment. I forgot to put that on there, but we didn't forget to do it. We did have our annual open enrollment process, got everybody's insurance processed. There wasn't a whole lot of changes, but we did follow through with that during that quarter too.
Okay.
Yeah, you went really quick over the staffing part, but
Yes.
and you, where we were talking about the EDS and the road superintendent, but I do want folks to know that that position has changed because of the fact that we, if you remember, commissioners, we had a restructure over there and realignment of some positions. So
Yes.
that was done within budget. So that position will no longer need to be
Right.
filled.
But as it
And-
stands,
yeah.
currently it
Yeah.
does stand as open, so I do try to report on that. But yes, looking forward, it is not something we will fill.
Yeah, and the only other thing is, I would say, is that there are some of these public safety situations where there is a high level of turnover, but it's kind of expected in some of those areas because based upon historical data
Mhm.
that shows those jobs are very intense.
Difficult, yes.
Right.
Thank you for the report.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having the employment information on here, the turnover rates and that sort of thing. It's very helpful. Thank you. Item number 6, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of the purchase of 2 2023 Tahoes from Caldwell Country for Washington County Sheriff's Office by board contract number 724-23. Mr. Meiske, you'd like to
Yes, these
address?
are, Caldwell Country reach out to the sheriff's department about 2 Tahoes that match similar to what we have, but these were exactly the silver color that we needed. They were off another order that got canceled, so they reached out to us first since it matches our color scheme, and so the goal was to take this and purchase it out of the reserves to match the other ones that we just purchased. Same price and everything as what we approved with the 5.
Right.
Well, if you remember in budget, we talked about how difficult it is to get these vehicles, and in the past, and we had been waiting on some for a while. So I think this is an opportunity for us to purchase these vehicles now rather than wait and see if there's gonna be an opportunity in the future. And
The
I think-
availability hasn't gotten much better, and particularly in that color, that was just like opportunity knocks. As you said, that was another department had ordered these, another county, I'd say, and they were turned down. So anyway, good opportunity knock. It's time to take advantage of it.
I agree.
I make a motion to approve the purchase of 2 2023 Tahoes from Caldwell Country for Washington County Sheriff's Office by board contract 724-23.
I second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of a resolution for year 2025 Washington County Indigent Defense Grant Program. Commissioners, this is something that we do every year. This comes through the state, of course, and there's nothing really to explain. It's no different than we've had in the years past.
Yes, and the
It's just
eligibility.
housekeeping.
Yeah, and the eligibility is for us to approve this, and
Right, we have-
there's a
Right.
formula that they use to, as you know, there's a formula they utilize to promote the funding for all 254 counties.
Yeah, we have to pass this resolution so that we qualify. Exactly, yeah.
I make a motion to approve the resolution for the FY 2025 Washington County Indigent Defense Program.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, discuss and possibly act upon a subdivision variance request for land division fronting Zentech Lane and Confederate Lane, 20.956 acres located in the Philip Coe Abstract A-0031, Precinct 3. Mr. Stoltz?
Morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Got a few items for you today. I think we're carrying on from most of the rest of the
Yeah.
agenda. So
Yeah.
we'll go ahead and get it kicked off with a subdivision variance request that we have on item 8. This is a approximately 21-acre tract. It does front both Confederate and Union Lane, as well as in the rear there's Zentech. They are looking to break off 12 acres in the front, which currently they are accessing from Confederate, but they do have frontage to Union. And then the remaining approximately 9 acres on the north side would front Zentech, and they'd already have an address to that location, but obviously no drive into the property.
So they'll be able to access this property through Zentech Lane?
Yes, sir.
correct?
There's currently address to this property.
And that, they have a driveway there already, correct?
I believe they have a gate there. Obviously, they don't have a SCAR where they can,
Yeah.
they typically drive that way. The way they get into the property as it stands today is through Confederate. But they do have an access point on that location today from Zentech.
Okay. All right. I make a motion to approve the variance request for land division fronting Zentech Lane and Confederate Lane, 20.956 acres located in the Philip Cole Abstract A-0031, Precinct 3.
Second that motion.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, discuss and possibly act upon a subdivision variance request for land division fronting State Highway 237, 5.409 acres located in the Chaz Fleesner Abstract A-0130, Track 1, Precinct 4.
Yeah, so this is another subdivision variance request for a developed piece of property fronting 237. There is actually 2 existing residences on this property. One would be for the proposed subdivision off where they would be selling the 1.5 acres. One they would be retaining. We have gone through the records for the OSSFs. They actually are fully on both the 1.5 that is proposed as well as the remaining on the north side there, which I guess the northeast side. And we have reached out to TxDOT, just given the fact that this would be a state road. They have approved, just given the fact that both of these do have already access to 237. They have made it clear that no additional driveways will be allowed, but given the fact that they are already built out and developed, that is not going to be an issue here. So.
Highway's already there.
I make a motion to approve the subdivision variance request for land division fronting State Highway 237, 5.409 acres located in the Chaz Fleesner Abstract A-0130, Track 1, Precinct 4.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10, discuss a formal notice from Comcast for fiber installation along county right-of-way up North Berlin Road, Dixie Road, and Sunset Road, Precinct 3.
Yes, this is a notice for Comcast fiber installation on quite a bit just north of Brenham. The vast majority is going to be along North Berlin, Sunset, as well as Dixie. So we're looking at 3,000 feet on Sunset, 3,600 feet on Dixie Road, and 7,500 feet of installation along North Berlin. The vast majority of this installation is actually within 15 to 20 foot ditch sections from edge of pavement to the right of way or to the fence line. So there is quite a bit of space. That said, there are a few tight areas that we have communicated that we want to be on site during the installation process. Whole reason being is there's a couple little small areas that we're looking at 10 to 12 feet, and that's whenever we get a little bit tight with the ditch. So we want to make for darn sure that any handholds in those particular areas will be installed so it does not affect our ditch line as well as any installation or along the lines of entrances for property owners. The 3 areas that we're going to be focusing heavily during construction for inspections are going to be at Dixie, actually right near Vintage Farm, so just on the outskirts of the city of Brenham. It's a little bit tight right there around that corner. The second one is at Sunset and 290. The rest of the Sunset going further to the northeast has got quite a bit of space over there. We're pretty free and clear, but right near 290 there's a little curve right there where we're going to be working pretty closely with them. And then at Berlin at Rolling Ridge, right at that particular intersection, it's a little bit tight where they come through there. So we're going to be really making for darn sure that any kind of installation that goes on in those particular areas will have enough space to be able to make sure that we have our ditch line free and clear, and we're not going to be interacting with any landowners.
Just prepare yourself, because there's going to be a lot more of these from Comcast throughout the county.
And it is great that we're looking at additional fiber installation across the county on these, right? But installation can be difficult because we're trying to make room for a lot of areas that can be pretty tight. Like I said, the vast majority of this one we do have a lot of space. There's always going to be a few areas that are going to be a little bit tough for installation. So
I've got a question because in this area you already have
AT&T.
Yes, you do. And so as we start rolling these out, there are several companies that want to provide the fiber, but yet how are you going to maintain our ditch line when you have several of these within the ditch line? Because are they going to utilize, you're going to have those 2 lines side by side in that ditch line?
So the vast
Comcast and
majority of them
AT&T?
are going to be on opposite, but there is a section along North Berlin, just north of 290, where they actually will be on the same side, which would be on the east side.
So you're basically going to put this line on the opposite side of the road?
So once it crosses Rolling Ridge, just past Rolling Ridge, it jumps to the northeast side and actually will be on the other side of the roadway. But there is a little portion where it's very, very difficult to run a curve where they are going to be paralleling. I think it's probably going to be 800 foot, just based on me putting an approximate number, but be approximately 800 foot where they're going to be parallel.
It's just concerning because there are some areas in our county where, and I do understand in this area, we have a little bit of ditch space, but I mean, a little bit more than normal, but I will tell you, there's a lot of places where I'm gonna be concerned about this a great deal. I do understand that we do want the fiber. We just have to make sure that we're able to operate in that ditch.
And that's the big reason why we communicated to them. Typically, we're not extremely difficult when it comes to installation, right? Most of the time, especially if we're doing directional bore, it's generally not a very difficult process and there's not really much to inspect. But when it comes to the handholds that we'd be looking at doing in here, which is our main concern, those particular areas we are going to be on site for the whole reason exactly what you're talking about. We can foresee if we are not there to oversee, someone may be cutting some corners when there's not really much room to cut corners.
Right.
Well, and look, as we urbanize those areas, we do end up having problems like what we had on that stretch of road with one of those boxes that they put in our ditch line for the constituent. So we just need to be definitely aware of all of that stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
Charlie has a question, Judge.
Is this Comcast first venture here?
It's the first one in precinct 3. I don't
Well,
believe
it's
I
located
remember.
right next to their hub, so, yeah, they came and they met with the group of us, including our IT director, and they are very committed to this community, so they're gonna be doing a lot of work, not only within the city limits, but outside in the county, which kind
Do
of,
they exist now, or this is their first venture?
This is their first
this is their
venture.
first
That's
venture
their first
here.
one, yes.
Yeah.
But, they're planning on going all over
Yeah.
the city for sure.
Just curious.
They're
Yeah.
they're dedicated to it.
Yeah, so
Okay,
I
so-
mean, they're gonna be investing about 12 million both within the city limits and outside.
Mhm.
So approximately $25 million into the infrastructure.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. Item number 11, discuss and possibly act upon oil and gas development permit for Magnolia Oil and Gas Operating LLC on FM 594, Precinct 4.
Yes, this is, I believe, our third oil and gas permit for the year. It's been a little slow, but it looks like we've got a couple that are starting to pick up a little bit. The first of which is going to be located on TxDOT Road 594, approximately 1 mile north of 1948 intersection. There actually is an existing pad nearby, but this would be another one that they're looking to propose on this particular site. With this one, we do not have any routing on county right-of-way. This is all going to be through state roads. We do obviously have our routing permits through Magnolia Oil and Gas. That said, with this particular one, we do not anticipate any traffic for county roads, purely state. So,
I'm making a motion to approve the oil and gas permit for Magnolia Oil and Gas Operating LLC on FM 594, Precinct 4.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 12, discuss and possibly act upon oil and gas development permit for Magnolia Oil and Gas Operating LLC on Sandtown Road, Precinct 4.
yeah, so this one actually would be proposed off of Sandtown Road. This is also from Magnolia Oil and Gas. And this is right near the 15365 Sandtown. Overall, we're looking at a routing from Shaneman Road from 1635. This would be 3.2 miles along Shaneman as well as Sandtown combined. It's definitely not something that I would prefer to have in terms of the location, but it's one of those things that we really can't tell them where they can and can't not go. We can purely just work with them in terms of right-of-way repairs of anything that comes with this. Now, that said, we are looking at 4 miles from the other direction off of Sandtown from 1697. Now, we've talked to Magnolia and we've said that, look, we want all the routing to go down Shaneman. It's a shorter route. If I can choose a shorter route, that's obviously the place we're going to go. That said, one of the most difficult parts with this particular type, well, really any construction, but definitely this one where everything is very, very fast-paced, is that they get a lot of subs. They get a lot of trucking companies, and those particular trucking companies, if you tell them, hey, look, you're going to use this route, they translate it to their dispatch, and then the dispatch translates to the driver or the lead driver, which translates to the next driver. All I'm saying is that it has been very difficult to maintain the route. And the reason why I'm pointing to this is we have videoed Shaineman as well as Sandtown for the entire length of both roadways, just for the purpose that if there is any traffic that comes from the opposite direction that does lead to degradation of Sandtown, Shaineman, Nixon Lake, any of those roadways for this particular project, we have communicated that those will be incorporated in the reconstruction of that road. We did do work on this one last year, and it actually has been holding up very well. There's still a lot of oil and gas traffic, not really from the construction side, but more of the operation side, and it's actually been doing very well. I've been very happy with it. It's kind of one of those things where you have a lot of heavy traffic. You typically lower your life expectancy on your roads, and so I was very pleased, and we are going to be watching this one. The only reason I bring that up is just given the fact that we are looking at very, very close to 100%, 100% condition on this road. So if there is damage that's going to take place from this particular roadway, we're looking at almost 100%, if not 100%, of the cost coming back to the county for any kind of work that would need to be done here.
So in the permit itself, it just says Sandtown Road area. You're comfortable with that, and you don't want to list Shaineman as one of those roads?
We do have a routing agreement that actually does list Shaineman on this as well. Now, in terms of why they put the Sandtown area, they don't have a address for this one yet, so they couldn't put an address itself.
Okay.
But we do have a route. I can send that over to you that we have approved them now.
And is that route going to be attached to this permit, is what I'm asking?
Yes, it was part of this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's all I need to know, is that it's going to be attached, because then that way we have proof that, and you guys you already said that you videoed both of those roads.
They are both, all aspects are videoed today.
Okay.
Very good.
And like you said, the biggest thing is when we do this in the future, make sure we get all the other possible routes included on it, because those guys do not follow their routes.
I don't blame Magnolia. It's just there's just too much a telephone process with it.
Right.
Yeah.
They'll take the
They're
shorter
following the
route.
GPS.
I make a motion to approve the oil and gas development permit for Magnolia Oil and Gas Operating LLC on Sandtown Road, Precinct 4.
I second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Oil and gas over in Precinct 3.
Item
Precinct 3 is
13,
the
discuss and
last.
possibly act upon amending the award for the engineering and development services fleet vehicle purchase bid.
Yeah, so we did award 12 vehicles under the sealed bid process, I believe at the last Commissioners Court agenda meeting, if I'm not mistaken. With this one, we are looking at vehicle number 12. Now, items number 1 and 11, we awarded to LaRoche Chevrolet, and we are not looking to amend those. What we are looking at is the number 12 vehicle, which we awarded to Oviedo. Now, with their bid, they did put in no modifications to the actual specifications that we put out with the sealed bid process. We did verbally confirm that with them. After the award, we did get a call saying that they were not going to be able to meet those specifications, that essentially they would not be able to supply the dump bed that we specified. So we worked with them, and they just were not going to be able to meet it based on their bid price, and they admitted to the mistake, but it is what it is. We have to move on to the next option. The next lowest bid on this one is actually a LaRoche Chevrolet vehicle number 12 at $57,919. Unfortunately, we reached out to LaRoche, and that particular dump bed is not what we specified either. We've had some problems in the past that I've been informed of, where, look, we carry very dense material. Mainly that coal patch is really what's on these trucks 95% of the time. And it's a very heavy material, it's very dense. A lot of these hoists are generally not going to be able to carry that. And so what we did was we have an upgraded hoist on this so we don't have any problems for the future. And also the bed. So we reached out, they said they weren't going to be able to provide that particular bed for this. We went to the third one that we have specified in our specifications, which is Brenham Dodge. We reached out, the chassis meets all the specifications, the dump bed is what we specified, so it is currently the only
The only one that
What's that?
Is that the only one that provided the actual?
The only one that met,
Specified
that
vehicle?
met the
Yes.
specifications.
Yeah.
Yes, so this is the only one that actually met the specifications, which is $80,315. One thing just to note with this one is that we did estimate in our original budgeting process for $81,000. So we actually still are a little bit under. We thought we were getting a really good deal,
Yeah.
but we're still getting a good deal. We're still getting a good deal compared to what we talked about with budget. It's still under what we budgeted. I was really excited about 20,000 under. That would be actually fantastic. But when we're excited to work with Brenham Dodge on this one too, obviously having 11 out of 12 is great to keep local, but 12 out of 12 is even better. So.
Absolutely.
So, I do understand that that's is there a way to prevent this from happening again? Like, in the bid process? Because, if they slip by the specifications, then they should have listed the specifications in the bid packet, correct?
You said no
Yes.
modifications.
And it
Correct.
says no modifications, so I don't understand how they would have understood anything different.
Well, and that's why we
So-
follow up with a verbal as well, is typically there's a lot of things that they need to put with these, right? And there's a lot of openings that we allow for as well. We only look at the necessities that we want, that we need for these vehicles. Now, that said, right, if they put no modification on there, we follow up with a verbal and confirm that everything on there is what was specified. And if we get that verbal as well as the documentation during the bid process, we are going to bring it forward. And look, it's always a possibility that someone does make a mistake during their bidding process and has to come back and amend those. And that's just going to be really kind of the hardest part to it. So.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve amending the award for engineering and development services fleet vehicle purchase bid to, I gotta specify,
Brenham Chrysler.
I would say vehicle number 12.
vehicle number 12
To
to
award the bid to Brenham.
Brenham Chrysler Dodge for vehicle number 12.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 14, discuss and possibly act upon the placement of Primrose Lane, .223 miles, and Sunflower Lane, .294 miles, located in the Brenham Hills subdivision into the one-year maintenance period and reduce the bond to 50%, precinct 2.
Yeah, so this is Brenham Hills. We started working on this one actually at the beginning of 2023, so it's a little bit of a long construction process. It's been a little bit of back and forth. The good thing is that we've really just been kind of holding up on some relatively minor things in the grand scheme, but at the end of the day, they're still significant enough that we wanted to hold off to actually make sure those were addressed. And really the two was there was a lot of erosion that took place at the beginning part of this year. Mainly from the ditches as well as some of the downstream from the culverts. We need to get some riprap in there. We really need to get those regraded and reseeded. We have had those addressed as of approximately a week and a half ago. We have completed our final inspection, and we are ready to recommend the one-year maintenance period for Brenham Hills for approximately half a mile for these two roadways.
Are there any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Make a motion to approve the placement of Primrose Lane, .223 miles, and Sunflower Lane, .294, located in the Brenham Hills subdivision into the one-year maintenance period and reducing the bond to 50% for precinct 2.
I second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is the same.
Item number 15, discuss and possibly act upon an order for restricting outdoor burning. Commissioners, this is the burn ban as requested by the fire chiefs. A vote, the majority wanted the burn ban to be instituted as fast as possible.
I think we've been recognizing the fact that due to the lack of rain, it is starting to turn into
Right.
really dry areas. I mean, I know.
We're
especially-
thankful for not having rain because it allows us to pave.
Double-edged sword.
But.
I'll read the order.
Okay.
Whereas Commissioners Court of Washington County has determined that circumstances present in all or part of the unincorporated area of the county create a public safety hazard that would increase the severity by outdoor brush burning. It is hereby ordered by the Commissioners Court of Washington County that outdoor burning is banned in the unincorporated area of the county for 90 days from the date of adoption of this order, unless restrictions are terminated earlier based on determination by the Texas Forest Service or this court. This order is adopted pursuant to Local Government Code 352.081 and other applicable statutes. This order does not prohibit outdoor burning of household garbage in screen barrels or properly constructed screen pits, and outdoor burning activities related to public health and safety that are authorized by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality for firefighter training or public utility, natural gas, pipeline, or mining operations, or planting or harvesting of agricultural crops, or burns that are conducted by prescribed burn manager certified under section 153.048 Natural Resources Code and meets the standards of section 153.047 Natural Resources Code. In accordance with Local Government Code 352.081H, a violation of this order is a Class C misdemeanor punishable by a fine not to exceed $500. All or part of this order may be rescinded at any time by the county judge. Adopted this 15th day of October 2024. Motion?
I make a motion to approve an order for restricting outdoor burning.
I second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 16, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of accounts payable. Mr. Kramer,
Yes, it is still morning.
good morning.
Got a little bit more to pay today. We had some, the bill for the new central, the CIS, the computer system that the 911 will be using, and some of the regular monthly bills that are, that we have to, keep paying. So the grand total today is $860,805.83.
I'll move upon the approval of accounts payable.
I'll second that. Ms. Kramer, I just have a question. Like, there, under the description of some of these items, there's a certain thing that's listed.
Air conditioners and
Yeah.
plywood, yes.
Okay, all right, let me address it. if I
Okay.
may. I called that to the auditor's attention yesterday, and that item where it says 3 air conditioners and plywood.
Yes.
That was a typo type thing. That should read Citibank P card purchases.
Yeah.
Oh.
When you put in a description, it just carries it forward. So that was for one transaction, but it just keeps going forward the way our computer system
Yeah, it
works.
just didn't, it got
So-
overlooked.
So the one in non-department is the same way?
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's for the P cards? Okay.
P card purchases.
Yeah, so we can't get very descriptive on that because otherwise it would just carry it forward and it's saying something that's not true for something else.
Gotcha.
Correct. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 17.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second that motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.